So I've brought you here before, one of a kind, yurts, saunas, pools, cedar tubs, and playhouses, and much, much more actually. There's more to it than that. Anyway, I brought you here before, and I didn't quite do this place justice in total, so let's check it out. I've showed you their wood-fired saunas. Wow, I can smell it. And I love the way the art on the cover matches the art on the barrel. These are wood-fired barrel saunas. It's actually, oh my God, it's warm in there. Nice and toasty and warm. Wow. There we go. And I've showed you the propane-powered saunas. That's propane-powered sauna. Similar to the other one, but without the big window on the end. And I've showed you their wood-fired barrel hot tubs. Beautiful units, eh? Beautiful units. Very nice. Wood-fired hot tub. And I've showed you some of their beautiful artwork. And it's pretty amazing. Check that out. Pretty amazing. This is quite the fantastic two-seat picnic bench. That's quite something. It's very nice, very nice. It's lightweight too. Ciao. And I've showed you the barrel wine cellar. The barrel wine cellar. Beautiful, eh? Beautiful unit. Very nice. And I've showed you these sleeping barrels. These are fantastic. These benches all fold down into a bed, and you've got that view outside your big bubble window there. And you have propane heat here. It's a sauna. This is a sauna. But they make sleeping barrels exactly like this as well. And I've also shown you the full-size sleeping barrels. These ones here, these are approximately 16 feet long in total, with the bubble window on the other end as well. Showed you these before. Let's just take a little quick refresher through here. There's the bed up here, and then you've got the benches here on the side, and here you've got the table that slides out of here when you want, or you can push it back, so you got more room. Beautiful view if you're at the ocean, like Tofino or something, at Long Beach. And then also underneath you have the kids room, or you can use it for storage if you want, but basically this will be a kids room. You keep your kids down here and out of the way, throw some toys in there, and they have fun, and then the adults can be up on top. But this is just a refresher to show you what I've showed you before in a previous video. Here's the Grizzly. It's bigger than the Cubic Mini. It got taken apart, unassembled, because Dave had gone to the trade show in Vancouver Convention Center, and he took this unit and everything else with it, so he had to take it apart, and he's just come back. And it's got a little mini fridge in here as well, and a coffee maker and all that. And they're just beautiful, beautiful units. So I've showed you everything there is out here, that all its products. But in the last video, I didn't have time or whatever, and I hadn't showed you all the aspects of Dave's business here. And one of the parts that I was missing is the cabins he builds. He's designed and created and invented these insulated cedar logs, and he can build cabins of practically any dimension or structure or shape. Like, say, you can make square ones, rectangular, and even round cabins out of these insulated cedar logs. So why don't we go inside and have a chat with Dave, and he can explain this whole other side of the business that he invented, and I never got to show you on the last video. Okay, so let's go in and find out. All right, here we go. Okay, here we go. Here's Dave, the owner and inventor of this section of the business. How are you doing, Dave?
Just a little bit of fantastic today.
Excellent. It's great to see you again. It's been a while. So you're the inventor of these insulated cedar logs here. This is your concept, your idea. You came up with it and you created them.
Yep.
It's your invention. And these cedar logs here that you've invented and built, you can make square log cabins, rectangular log cabins.
Or sell them as a do-it-yourself log for people to build their own cabins.
Okay, yeah, do-it-yourself kind of cabin itself. But the one thing you also do is you can make round cabins like these.
That's how we started.
That's how you started with the round cabins? Okay.
Yep, because most people try to copy me. And it's very difficult to copy round.
Right, that's very true.
So that's where I started.
But a lot of people would sort of almost commonly call these yurts.
They started out, if you look at the top left picture up there,
Okay.
where the kid is poking their head through.
Yeah,
Well,
got
that's
that.
what a traditional yurt is. It's a round, portable structure with a canvas roof and a canvas wall.
Yeah, so it's very thin and
A
uninsulated.
round tent.
A round tent, yes, it's just a round tent is all it is.
So what we did was overcome the negatives of lattice for your wall structure. because
Absolutely.
It wouldn't carry the weight of a standing seam metal roof.
Okay, that makes sense.
So what we did was we come up with the same as our hot tubs and saunas, which is the 1.5 inch thick.
Okay, there you go.
It's got
Yeah.
the ball and socket.
Okay,
And this was what the walls look like.
right.
To try to compete with price, we kept the regular, traditional vinyl, if you would, yurt roof. To
Right.
keep the price down. Then once people got this and then realized they could put a metal roof on it, well then they wanted the roof insulated, you know, so they didn't want a vinyl roof anymore.
Right.
But we just tried every little thing expanding the business that we could back then.
So a lot of people would commonly call this kind of round structure a yurt,
That's correct.
but this is way more than a yurt.
Well,
It's
I
not a
call it-
canvas tent anymore. We're talking about an actual cabin made of insulated cedar logs.
It's a round house.
It's a round house. It's a round house. And then, of course, you can make the square and rectangular cabins, houses.
That's easy. Anybody can do boring rectangles and squares.
Exactly, boring, yeah.
So basically, to give you an example of what the walls look like, we just finished one in northern New Brunswick for a First Nations community. And we put them all together in our shop before we shipped it in a container to New Brunswick. So this here is the outside. So you could gang up all your window units and your door units, but normally you space them out around the whole structure.
Okay.
When we had them finished, we were a few months before we were ready to ship, so I just stuck them all together. So this is what the outside of a round cedar house would look like. This
Beautiful,
is
isn't
the
it?
inside of that same structure.
Ah, there's the inside of the same okay. Yeah, that's beautiful. Fabulous.
That white door is this white door.
Right, exactly.
So we make the window and door units in the shop curved with proper curved headers so they meet code. You can actually get building permits to live in one of our round houses,
Beautiful.
or cedar yurt if you would.
Because they're all up to codes.
We're the only yurt company in the world where you can get a building permit to live in it.
Wow, that's great. That's fantastic. Now I'm just noticing here, you've got the square logs here, the
That's our
insulated
next-
cedar log.
That's our next project. We're
So-
laying them down.
Okay, yes, exactly.
Build a cabin.
And that's what where you would build the square or rectangular cabins with.
Yep.
And then you've got the other ones for building the round yurts here that interlock differently. So you can
Well, this
create a curved structure, right?
This here is, again, a step up from lattice.
Right,
That's what it would look like.
right.
No insulation. You'd never get a permit,
Yeah,
but it's warmer and more private than a yurt.
yes, very much
So
so.
that's the thickness of your wall. Now, if you don't need permits, and we do a lot of work with First Nations communities, they want a nice warm structure, but they don't have any requirement for building permits.
Right,
We can get away with this.
okay.
Okay, it's about half the price of these here. It's R12 instead of R24, but you got a nice warm floor, you get a nice warm wall, and it's structural, so you can still put a 6,000-pound metal roof on it.
Right, okay. And that's a metal roof, that one there
That is
too.
a standing seam metal roof. It's the same as you see on grain bins in the prairies.
Okay, right. Okay, perfect. So another thing too is these cedar logs, insulated cedar logs that you've invented, they're actually a higher insulation value than a log that they've cut the tree down and made log cabins, right?
I
This
can
is a
make-
higher insulation value?
Well, a regular log or any piece of wood has an R value, which is how they measure insulation performance. It's an R has an R value of 1.5 per inch. Just this graphite infused foam is R5
Okay.
per inch. So right here you got R10.
Oh, okay.
Plus, now you got R 1.5 and R 1.5
Plus 10.
plus 10.
Wow.
Okay, so that's how you measure it. Now these ones here, you go up to R 24, and this one we built in northern New Brunswick. That's R 30. You can see the difference in the size.
Yes.
We can make
absolutely.
the log to suit the zone that we're building the cabin or the yurt or whatever. in.
Depending on if there's sort of a desert area or a rainforest
In northern New Brunswick, it's minus 30, minus 40. for some
or
months.
freezing cold.
So you're not going to get in this. You're not going to get in
No,
this.
no, that's
Even
true.
this year, they'd be cool.
Okay, so you go with the this one here
Whatever,
then.
whatever the zone requires
Right.
for building permits,
Wow.
we make the log to suit.
This is amazing. This is all your own invention. This is
Well,
fantastic.
I've been building for 45 years.
Okay.
I hate to build anything that won't stand up to our climate or what it offers.
Exactly. Exactly. And this is the thing that's going to do that.
Yes.
It's going to stand up to any climate virtually, depending on the density or thickness or whatever of your logs themselves, I suppose.
Yeah, and BC is the strictest province in all of Canada.
Oh,
They-
really?
They have the new BC 5-step code.
Okay.
Right now, it's not mandatory, it's voluntary, but in 5 years, you will not be able to build any dwelling that you're going to live in unless it meets the 5-step code, and that's very, very stringent. Panabodes, you will not be able to build a panabode. Log cabins are going to be virtually outlawed. They're trying to do workarounds and stuff,
Oh yeah.
but unless you meet the code, you will not be able to build a house in BC
Yeah.
unless it meets that 5-step code in 5 years.
And you mentioned that the log cabins, they can't build any new log cabins because
In
they don't
5
come
years.
up in 5 years
Yeah,
because they won't be up to
they
code.
don't meet code.
Well, that's amazing, isn't it? But your product you invented, this is practically the only thing that's going to come up to code, right?
Well, it's a log, but it won't settle, it won't split, it won't warp or twist.
Okay.
And it has an insulation value that a log doesn't.
Exactly. Like a lot more insulation value than a log itself,
We
right?
make the log to suit the zone we're building in. So if you need an R30 log, and a regular log is only giving you R7, and you can't do it,
That's right.
then you can buy one of our insulated logs and still build your house or your cabin or whatever, but now you meet the code.
So just to clarify, this log here has a higher insulation value than an actual larger
Oh my God!
tree
yeah.
log.
Oh, it's only 1.5 per inch.
Wow, that's insane, eh? So this is this is the way of the future, I think.
Well,
This
is
is
what
the-
BC come up with, and what we're doing is coming up with a product to meet the demands of the new BC step code.
Excellent, excellent, excellent. Yeah, and you've been doing this a long time, over 45 years. Wow.
Yeah, well, my original trade is church furniture.
And there's some of them that have been built in the
Those are-
past, and they're
Those are
actually
three that we gang together.
being used right now, aren't they?
They are.
Yes. And so you went basically to the round cabin structure because, like you said earlier, anyone can make a square cabin,
Boring rectangles.
boring rectangles and stuff.
Yeah.
So but these, a lot of people even you refer to them as Cedar Yurts.
Yep, because they're round, so they remind people of a yurt.
Yes, but that's the only comparison.
That's the only comparison.
Yeah.
When people hear or see the word yurt, they think cheap,
Yes,
because a round tent is just that. It's cheap.
it's cheap, a round tent. Yeah,
So it's an education process to explain to people that, yes, these are yurts, but they're insulated log yurts.
yes.
They start off at 350,000,
They're
not 12,000.
yeah, they're much more than a traditional yurt.
It's a house.
It's a house. It's insulated.
Well insulated house that meets code.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
a yurt,
it
like
just happens to be round.
like you mentioned, a yurt is just a tent.
Yeah, it just happens to be round.
It just happens to be round. Yeah. So wow, this is fabulous. This I seriously think this could be the wave of the future here, especially for places like Vancouver Island, anywhere, most places, British Columbia.
Any place.
Yeah, any place,
You
no
can
matter
ship
what.
these all over the world. They ship as a kit.
Yeah, and you could even put these up in Alaska or something and have them all winter long and be.
We just shipped one a year and a half ago to northern New Brunswick for a First Nations community,
Okay.
and this is what it looks like here. That was when we finished it. This is the inside and outside of their walls.
Oh yeah,
That was the year we just, and it all come apart. We put it in a shipping container, shipped it there. I flew down and we installed it in 33 days.
Wow. And they're almost like a prefab in the sense that someone can buy all the parts and put it together themselves.
Exactly.
Or they can have you and your crew or whatever come out and
I
build
flew
it.
down
So.
by myself and I hired some local people from the community, and we installed it in 33 days.
Wow, that's awesome. That is fantastic. So this is definitely why you call it one of a kind.
One of a kind.
Because it is one of a kind. You're the only one that's invented it and done it, and the only one actually marketing it. So, yeah, perfect name for the business. One of a kind. Yeah, no, this is fabulous. Those are excellent. So, wow. Well, that's fabulous, Dave. That's excellent. I hope we've covered everything. Hope
I think so.
all my subscribers and everyone watching will get the whole gist of this business here. But yeah, again, that's fantastic. Thank you very much, Dave, for
If they have
all
any
your time and
questions,
everything.
You'll probably have my info that they can email me or call me, whatever, if they have any questions.
Right. Okay. I'll probably put all that information down in the descriptions under my video, and then they can contact you directly.
Sure.
And yeah, that's perfect. That's perfect, because I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that are very, very interested in this kind of structure, this kind of housing, and it's like we're both saying, it's just way, way better than a standard yurt. It's not a tent; it's a house. These are houses, and that cabins are houses, and they're fantastic.
Yeah, well insulated, meets code. We've got permits that have been issued for 2 provinces so far in Canada. New
Excellent.
Brunswick and British Columbia.
Perfect. Yeah, the two of the harshest
And,
provinces probably. Yeah.
One for moisture and one for cold.
That's right, yeah. No, this is fantastic. You've made a really amazing invention here. And I hope this really takes off a lot of places. And a lot of this is actually for tourism as well. Like, let's say Long Beach or any of the First Nations lands.
Any place at all. The one we did in northern New Brunswick, it was a tourism information center and what they called a maker's space.
Okay.
So the community artisans would make their jewelry. They're doing a birch bark canoe and teaching.
Oh, nice. I love those.
Yeah, the youngsters how to make the traditional birch bark canoe.
Perfect.
And then the half of the building, the other half is the tourism information where they can come in and buy the jewelry, ask directions, rent a canoe and go canoeing. So yeah, we make them multi-purpose. What people do with them is up to them.
Exactly.
The one we did for the Dididat First Nations in Nitnat Lake, it's right in the center of their campground, and you go in there and you book your space for the week or weekend or whatever, and that is their main office, and it's around Cedar Yurts.
Wow. And you've got some of your sleeping barrels up in like places like Long Beach and Tofino and stuff like that?
We have 5 of them at the Apacheedat First Nations campground in Port Renfrew.
Okay.
We have about 13 or 14 out in Tofino and Ukiwit.
Okay.
We've got them at Pender Harbor. We've got them up in Comox.
Wow, I love Pender Harbor.
Yeah, we got about 37 of those out now.
Wow, that's
We
insane.
just shipped 2 to Thunder Bay. They just arrived there last Friday.
That would be a great place for these because it's that's like Winterpeg or something. That's the coldest place on earth, isn't it? Or coldest place in Canada, isn't it?
Yeah, and we put the wood stove in there so they could extend their season. And we put tinfoil insulation over under the sunbrella cover.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
Wow. This is great. This is fantastic. Well, it's like I said, it's great to see you again. I haven't been around for a while, and I'm glad I finally brought everyone up to speed on all of your products. And this is one of my favorite parts of it, is these round cabins that you do, or any shaped cabins, but the round ones are the nicest, I find.
There's something spiritual about.
Yeah, that's
Hanging
probably,
around.
that's what it is. Something spiritual about it. Yeah. But yeah, no, these are fantastic. And I really hope this revolutionizes the housing industry completely.
Oh, it's going to.
Yes.
Yeah, you won't be able to build in BC.
Yeah, they're
5
cracking
years.
down on all regulations and restrictions and codes and everything, right? Yeah.
You won't be able to build unless you meet this net zero is what they're calling it.
Net zero, yeah. Well, that's fantastic, Dave. I hope I've covered everything I possibly can.
I think so.
Nice seeing you again, and I'm always just around the corner most of the time, so I'll probably be stopping in once in a while. And
Sounds good. You take a raise at a petty cash on the way home.
maybe I will. All right, we'll talk to you soon again, okay, Dave?
All right.
All right, ciao for now.
Ciao.